You know the drill, right? You're online and you get asked to prove you're over 18. Maybe you've uploaded a photo of your driver's license or even let a website scan your face. It feels kind of normal now, but it's creating this huge hidden privacy problem. We're going to look at a much smarter way to handle this. I mean, seriously, just stop and think about that for a second. How many websites, maybe some random online store or a dating app, have a full copy of your driver's license or a scan of your face? It's a little unsettling when you think about it, right? You're basically just spraying your most sensitive personal data all over the internet, and you're just hoping that every single one of those sites has Fort Knox level security. And let's be real, they don't. Okay, so let's get into the heart of the problem here. We're going to look at today's, and I'm using air quotes here, solutions. The issue is, every single common method we use right now forces you to overshare your data, creating all these risks that are just completely avoidable. All right, method number one, the classic uploading your ID. So a site asks if you're over 18, and what do you give them? Your entire personally identifiable information, or PII. We're talking your name, your address, your date of birth, your license number, the whole shebang. You're basically handing them a treasure map to your identity. And that turns every single one of those websites into a juicy, high-value honeypot for hackers. I mean, with data breaches already through the roof, this is just throwing gasoline on the fire.
Then you've got the super high-tech option, face scans. This sounds all futuristic and cool, but wow, it is full of problems. These systems, they're often not even that accurate, especially for people right around that 18-year-old mark. And we know they have demographic biases. But here's the biggest issue, the real kicker. Your face is a biometric. If a database full of these face scans gets leaked, you can't just go get a new face. It creates this permanent, irreversible digital trail of you. That's scary.
And finally, we have the data brokers. These are these centralized services that websites use to check your age behind the scenes. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. These brokers can see when and where you're proving your age. They're literally building a detailed map of your online activity. This is the exact opposite of what privacy experts call data minimization. It's actually designed to track you. But what if there was a way to prove your age without giving away any of that sensitive info?
Well, there is, and it's an alternative called a zero-knowledge proof. Trust me, it's a fundamentally better, smarter approach.
So what on earth is a zero-knowledge proof, or ZKP? Basically, it's this really clever piece of cryptography that lets you prove something is true without actually showing the data that makes it true. Okay, think of it like this. It's like being able to convince someone you know a secret password without ever telling them the password itself. It's a pretty simple idea, but wow, is it powerful. And this quote right here just nails the benefit. The website doesn't need your date of birth or your name or your face. The only question that actually matters is, are you over 18? A ZKP lets you provide a simple, mathematically secure yes to that one question, and absolutely nothing else. And look, this isn't some pie-in-the-sky, futuristic fantasy. This technology is here, and it's getting ready for the big leagues. The W3C, the folks who set web standards, they've already finalized the specs for this. The EU is building this right into its official digital identity wallet, and even Google has open-source libraries so developers can start using it. This stuff is ready for prime time, right now. Okay, so it sounds great in theory, but how does this thing actually work in the real world? Let's walk through the process because it's actually surprisingly simple. It all happens in 4 simple steps. First, a trusted authority, think the DMV or the government, puts a secure digital version of your ID into your phone's digital wallet. This only has to happen once. Then, step 2. When a website asks for your age, your phone, right there on your device, which is super important, it computes a mathematical proof that you're over 18 without sharing your actual birth date. Step 3. The website just verifies the math on that proof, it never, ever sees your data, and it doesn't need to phone home to the government or anyone else. And finally, step 4, the only thing the site learns is, yes, that's it. No PII is stored, nothing.
Okay, so a really common question comes up right about now. But what about protecting kids? If this is so private, does it mean kids can just fake their age? And that's a totally fair question, but it kind of misunderstands the problem that ZKPs are actually built to solve.
So here's the crucial point. ZKPs don't magically let a 12-year-old create a fake government ID. You still need a valid credential from a trusted issuer to even start this process. The people using this technology are adults who already have a valid ID. All this system does is stop those adults from having to splatter their sensitive data all over the internet. So the goal of protecting kids is still 100% there. We just get to solve the massive privacy problem for adults at the exact same time. It's just smarter.
So when you put it all together, the verdict becomes pretty darn clear. We have a choice between these old, leaky, risky systems and a new model that makes privacy the default setting from the get-go. So let's really put them head-to-head. How do these old methods, the document uploads, the face scans, the brokers, how do they really stack up against the ZKP approach when you look at what actually matters for your privacy and your security?
And what's so powerful about this is just how clear the story is. Let's go down the list. Does it disclose only what's needed? Nope, nope, nope. Only ZKPs get a check. Is it resilient to data breaches? Again, only ZKPs because there's no sensitive data to steal in the first place. Can it be used to track you? All the old methods fail here, but ZKPs are specifically designed to be unlinkable. And finally, which method has modern standards and real momentum behind it? It's ZKPs. It's just a clean sweep, no contest.
So if it's so obviously better, why aren't we using this everywhere already? Well, it comes down to about 3 main reasons. First, you've got institutional inertia. Regulators and big companies often just stick with what they know, even if it's incredibly risky. Second, you have business incentives. Let's be honest, data brokers make money by collecting your data, not by minimizing it. And finally, there's a narrative gap. The public conversation is almost entirely focused on kids, which lets this huge privacy disaster for adults just keep on going, unsolved.
This all brings us to a very simple, very clear standard. The only acceptable test for any age verification system. If it reveals your full ID or your date of birth, reject it. If it stores your biometrics, reject it. If it uses a central broker who tracks you, reject it. But if it simply proves you're over 18 with an unlinkable proof and leaves zero personal data behind, accept it. And right now, only one technology passes that test: ZKPs.
And that really is the ultimate takeaway here. This is not a choice between safety and privacy. We can and we should have both. We have the technology right now to protect young people online and to stop forcing every adult to hand over the keys to their digital kingdom for every little transaction. So the real question we have to ask is, why on earth would we choose anything else?